Everybody, thanks for watching, and just a quick reminder that Ancient History Volume 4 is now available. Definitely check it out. So now, always get the question about biblical religion and people having family members and friends that are deeply religious. I always get a call from a friend or a family member asking me to talk to one of their friends who are still Christian or thinking about the Hebrew Israelite doctrine or Muslim or what have you. And for the most part, some people are open to conversation about religion, but a lot of people are just still looking for validation in their religion. And some people understand that that's what it is and some don't. But that's basically what it is. Most of these people that's on YouTube that are religious are looking for validation. It's that whole thing where you are so into something and you want to be right. And you want people to follow you because you like it or you feel like it's the right thing to do or what you should be doing. But you're looking for validation. So the more people that tell you that you are right, it gives you validation into your religion, into what you're, following. And it's a strong sense for these people to want to, try to convince people that they are right and try to get them to follow or add validity to what they are following. So, with religion, it comes down to, either accepting truth or faith. And it's something I talked about before. But a lot of people, have trouble understanding that concept, understanding what that means. It's you're going to believe in what you want to believe in. It's just that simple. To take it to the point of debate or argument is pointless. It's like, what is the point of that? Why talk about something that you're never going to change your mind about? And why debate it? And the issue is, validity, and making people feel good about the decision that they made, even though they're supposed to, according to their religion, just have faith. And that's the main thing that people are not getting, plain and simple. So most people want you to believe in truth about their doctrine. So Christians, Muslims want you to believe that what they're following is true, that it actually happened, that the Bible actually is telling the truth about what it's saying, and that we should follow it. And the thing is, the religion requires faith for that reason, because there is no proof. And if it was proof, there wouldn't be no such thing as faith. We wouldn't need faith. We wouldn't be talking about faith or belief if there were actual proof in these religions. So no matter if you're a Christian or Hebrew or Muslim, your doctrine is centered around faith and belief, which faith and belief is not truth. It's not facts. So that's basically what it boils down to at the end of the day. Either you're going to accept facts, truth, or continue to walk in faith and have belief. And the problem is people want to believe in the Bible so much, they don't believe in the story so much that they'll rather look like a fool thinking that they're going to get some kind of blessing from it, rather than accept common sense. Now, biblical religion has protected itself from people like us. I hear it all the time. The Bible says, people like you is going to come up, or the Bible talks about people like you who's going to come up and start talking against the Bible. And, for a book that's supposed to be based upon truth, it has a lot of, verses to basically safeguard against people with intelligence, saying stuff like, smart people going to come later on and be able to break this shit down and tell you some truth. Don't listen to them. Just the devil. So, of course, you're going to have people that have an opinion, and that's with anything, no matter what it is. Somebody's going to have a different opinion, or going to come to a different conclusion than you. But for something that's supposed to be from the Creator or God, that should be straightforward and should be no doubt from anybody, it's too many holes that we can poke in religion, just namely the history of the book itself. So one of the things I tell people to do, when they're talking to their family or whoever, friend or loved one that's in religion, is to get them to look at the history of the book and find out the facts that your preacher is not going to tell you. And this is what I came to find when I started on my, whole journey of understanding what the Bible really was the history is just so messed up, and it's not there, and it's not really enough there to give you cause to believe that the book is real. And then more than that, just reading the first 5 books of the Bible, if you're following the Bible series that I put out, I mean, you got to be disgusted. I mean, it's why would anybody want to follow this God or this Bible or follow this doctrine? And it doesn't fit. If Bible says God put these people in power, and his teachings and what the Bible is telling you in the Old Testament doesn't fit what the rules are, plain and simple. So it's up to people to make up their mind as to what they believe and what they feel is right and wrong, because the Bible is going to challenge that. It's going to really challenge you to come to the conclusion that everything that God says is right, no matter how wrong it is, or common sense should tell you that this is wrong, and that any God that teaches about love, peace, and mercy, or what have you, will not be talking about none of these type of things. So, that's one thing. And the main thing is, the first thing I said to family member of mine that was talking about the Bible was to be real with themselves. And I think I talked about this before in the previous video. It's just to get people to be real with themselves, especially when you know them and you know their life and they're not living by the Bible. Come on, just be real with yourself. And the problem is, a lot of so-called Christians don't read the Bible, so they don't know that what they're doing in their everyday life, is against the Bible. A lot of people go by what the preacher's saying in church, or what the overall consensus of the Bible, or the overall understanding of the Bible, is saying, which is that you can sin as much as you want, as long as you keep repenting, you'll be fine. When you have Hebrews 10:26 that says that if you continue sinning willfully after receiving knowledge of the truth, there no longer remains a sacrifice for sins. Now, of course, Christians is going to say that I'm misinterpreting that verse. What else could that verse mean? What else could it be pertaining to? And we can do that with many other verses. And this is how you run into contradictions and problems and issues with the Bible, with one verse saying that nobody has ever seen God, and then another verse saying that seen the face of God. Moses seen God, ate with him, his friends and all that. And then you have so many contradictory verses in the book that causes people to have this kind of conflict and issue with the book. So it's going to, again, boil you down to that whole common sense versus faith factor. And it's just up to people to make up their mind, to make a decision. Now, as I said in one of my previous videos, I really gave up, debating with these religious people about the Bible, because a lot of them just want to argue. And a lot of them want to put themselves in a position where they feel like they're defending God, and that they're gonna get some kind of blessing later on for doing so. So I've, over the years, come to the understanding that at the end of the day, no matter how much you prove 1 + 1 is 2, to them it's 7. And no matter how many facts and proof you lay on the table, 1 + 1 equals 7 to them. It don't equals 2, it equals 7. How much common sense you lay out there? So if these people are not going to accept common sense, there's no point. Move on. Just keep gaining knowledge. And a lot of people are persuaded by you being able to answer the questions. So the more knowledge you obtain, the better you'll do in that situation. But church is it's a tough place to compete with. Now, a lot of people go there and all their validations are given to them right there. People go on these Christian websites and go look at these Christian videos, and they get their validation. And some people get amped up and they want to go on and keep on moving forward and try to get more validation. You have now today more Christian people becoming more conscious of the church, that is there to basically take their money. It doesn't tell the true history of the Bible. You have also a lot of Christians who are beginning to understand that we got the Bible with slavery, and they don't want to really, deal with that. So they'll probably jump over to the Hebrew side to try to explain the fact that we got the Bible in slavery. And no matter how you slice it, it's not going to really persuade many people to stop following the doctrine. Now, I'm not going to lie, most of the people who I've gotten to, leave religion alone, I've been shocked. But you get to a point to where you can answer enough questions and crush everything they bring to the table. They don't have a choice. And that's what it's about. Knowledge is power. And if these people had the knowledge and the information to get them to understand why they believe in this doctrine, and that it's not going to really benefit them, only they can do what they need to do for themselves, and no book or no imaginary God is going to do what they can do for themselves. Once you get them to believe this stuff and understand how stuff work, a lot of people is more willing to look into the truth about the book. Now, a lot of the people who I've actually debated with about the Bible, people I've talked to, all of them had one thing in common. They were going through something or had been through something that was real, hard for them in life. Like, I had a guy that just got out of prison, did time in prison and everything, and he got out, and the halfway house helped him get a job, and he started doing good, and he was going to church, and he was really regretful of the life that he had led that led him to prison. And that whole time, that whole life in prison, he just wanted a second chance to do good, to do better, and to just do the right thing. And when you go through something like that in prison, that long time sitting in there, and you come out, it's like, for people who not hard-headed, you want to straighten up. You don't want to do the same thing that's going to get you put back in prison. You want to do what you're supposed to do. And if you do that, how can you fail? So he is taking the fact that he woke up and stopped being a dickhead and figured out, how the world works, and that you got to work for what you want and work hard and not try to, take too many shortcuts. And he just basically did what he was supposed to do. Meanwhile, he was going to church. So him doing what he's supposed to do and going to church, he gave the credit to God, saying that God is the reason why he was doing what he's supposed to do, when it was just him. And if he was doing what he was supposed to do from the beginning, he would have never went to jail and probably would have never ended up in church and still would have lived a good life. I've spoken to people that, struggling, on welfare, going through, some tough times, and, just the pain, going through something like that, just it light a fire, under people, and it makes them just go out and do what they need to do. Get a job, work hard, save some money. And during that time, again, people pray. They go to church free. Not all of them, but most of them free. And they give that glory to God, thinking that God, put them in that position when it was all them. Same stuff we all know about this. Same stuff that we see from Christians and religious people. Them basically doing what they're supposed to do and giving the glory to God, and not looking at the fact that, their Bible says God shows no favoritism. Says that clear as day. So the people who give in the credit to God as if God came down and did something special specifically for them to put them in that position is not even reading the book that says God would not do that. Because you got to look at all the other people who don't make it, who are praying, who don't get their job, who are praying. A lot of people who watch their loved one, a family member, die in the hospital while they praying, died right there, but the other person lived. So how is it God, that's giving you the glory and not the other people? It's the same thing I see all the time in sports. Somebody in a competition, one-on-one, both people praying, but one wins, and they give it the thanks to God as if God said, you know what, fuck him. You the only one that matter. And it's part of the delusion of religion that people are under, that there's this God that's specifically looking out for them, and that everybody else is doing it wrong or ain't real Christians like they are, so God won't help them. It's crazy. It's delusional stuff. And this is what you're going to find with the people who are, friends or family member that's asking you questions about religion. You're not going to be able to answer them all, but you have to switch it around and put these questions to them in a way that, makes sense. And these are the best questions. It's the best things to point out to people about religion is how stupid it sounds when you really pay attention to it, and how it doesn't even fit with what their doctrine is talking about. And that's the main thing. These people are not reading the book. So when you go in there and you tell them that, hey, you ain't supposed to be talking to church, you gotta ask your husband for permission. You ain't supposed to be wearing this. You're not supposed to be watching this. You ain't even supposed to be on social media. You ain't supposed to be in the world and doing things that is worldly, because the Bible says friendship with the world means enmity with God. That if you love the world, then the love of the Father is not in you. Here you are on the World Wide Web doing everything that goes against the book that you claim, gave you what you had. And these same people who claim they love Jesus and love God are the same people who, they will argue you down about Beyonce and Jay-Z. They support all these rappers and all this negative stuff. All these actors who just into all kinds of crazy films that is anti, the Bible. Again, people is fooled when you have a rapper say they thank God for an award or what have you, and people look at that as if, God actually helped them out. That God is giving out awards to rappers who rap about killing people and all kinds of stuff that goes against the book. Again, it's the brainwashing crap that we find with religion. Because if you was truly Christian, you wouldn't be touching none of this stuff that is considered a sin knowingly. And people don't want to be that real. When you start putting these questions to people, they get crazy. They start flipping out. I've been through it. People they get mad at you. They start cussing. They start trying to get into an argument. They start to take the conversation to something totally different from religion to try to put you in a situation where they can best you. They can best you, or either they want to beat you up, or they want to put you in a position where they know something that you don't know or think you don't know. And they try to keep it away from the Bible because they already defeated there. And it's very easy to defeat these people. Just say, you don't follow the book, so what do you care? Talk all that Bible stuff all you want. You're not living by what the Bible says is right before God. So why are we arguing? What are we talking about when you're not even following the book yourself? And they're so quick to say that you're going to hell. Well, if hell was real, they'll be going there too, because they're not following the book. Plain and simple. You can't just say you are a Christian and then expect to get into heaven according to your own book. So these are the questions, and as I said before, if you're not really hard and critical to the people that is coming at your neck about Christianity, then they're not never going to get it. It's not being hostile. You can talk calm and don't get into an argument with people, but you still got to ask them the hard, tough questions. Plain and simple. Damn well you don't follow that book. Why are we talking about it? Damn well you don't live by that book. You don't read the book. You don't even know what the book says. All of the so-called claims that the preachers made about the Bible, you can bust them up in the Bible itself. Jesus coming back when he tell you he's not coming back. Jesus dying for your sins when he says he didn't ascend to the Father. He told Mary to lie and say that he did. Jesus basically bitching up when it came time for the crucifixion. He didn't want to die. He told his men to go and sell their stuff and get swords because he wasn't trying to go get crucified. This stuff is in the Bible, Bible condoning the killing of infants. It's all there. So much brutal killing and murder in the book. God is crazy in that book. It's crazy. And people don't read it, so they don't know what's going on. But they will tell you with a straight face, the Bible is just a good book. Why are you talking against the Bible? It's just a book that's a good book that's trying to help people out. They never read the book. So, if you haven't read the book either, then it's going to be tough for you to get these points across to people. But, a lot of these people who want to bring their family member out of religion, they're looking for validation as well. A lot of these people who are so-called conscious are looking for validation too. A lot of people want to, once you know something that is against the Bible, they want to automatically speak to it and try to say that they know something, like, get out of religion. And a lot of people attribute that to just trying to help somebody out, but really they're looking for validity, or they just want to seem like they know something over another person. So I always tell people, if you can't answer these people's questions, don't get into the debate. Don't even argue with them. You can't answer the questions, it's just going to make you look stupid in the end, or you're just going to end up in an argument that's not going to, persuade the person either way. But when you say the right stuff and you point out the right things, no matter how mad the person gets, the stuff sticks with them. They don't forget it, and eventually they'll do the research. They'll go looking at stuff. I got to tell you 100 times, people who I argue with send me emails later saying, "Okay, I checked it out. You was right." And that's the best way to do it. Let them take their time. Let them look. At the end of the day, when they go look in that mirror, they know they bullshitting. That's what it boils down to. So, as I say to them, when you look in that mirror, you know you bullshitting. Then you turn around and say that you serve a God that knows all and sees all. Don't you think He gonna see that you bullshitting? Because you ain't following that Bible the way you're supposed to be in the first place. So, if you really believe it's real, we wouldn't be talking. That's just the truth. If I believe that Jesus actually existed and was real and died for my sins, my ass is going to be somewhere praising Him, away from all kinds of sin, if I really believe that. So again, these people fighting against themselves. They're having internal arguments with themselves, and they just looking for validity. They're looking for something to back up the reason why they should follow the book, because deep down they really don't want to follow it, but they're too scared to let it go because they believe it's giving them some kind of divine help or assistance in their lives. It's bullshit. You go do what you're supposed to do, work hard, you can get what you're looking for. Just that simple. The main thing that you cannot do is let someone take you away from a rational conversation. Let people take the conversation into a realm where everything is spooky and doesn't make sense. And you have to establish up front first that we're going to be talking rationally. It's just that simple. I mean, it doesn't matter where you go. In any other debate, you want rationality. No matter what. It's the only time when we're talking about religion that rationality goes out the door. And we allow it. And we got to stop doing it. So at any other time, when we're talking about anything or debating anything, even when you go to court, you have to prove your point to win. Plain and simple. If somebody came to you and said, "Hey, you got change for 100," and you said, "Yeah, I got change for 100," and they say, "Okay, well, give me the money." Rational mind kicks in and says, "Okay, well, let me see your 100." You're not going to take their word for it. Plain and simple. If a homeless person comes up to you and says he has a Bentley and a mansion and everything, okay, let me see it. You're not going to take his word for it. Person said they got something for you, you want to see it. They ain't just going to keep saying you got something for me and don't give it to me. Let me see it. You're not going to just take their word for it. You want to see. People brag all day long. Instagram and social media is about people showing what they got. People bragging, this and that. Anything that we do, we want proof, we want validity, we want to see that it's valid, except for religion, we let slide. So in this society, how we determine if something is true or false? Proof. Just that simple. So your girl cheating on you, or somebody tell you your girl cheating on you, or your dude cheating on you, all right, prove it. What are you cheating with? You see him with somebody? You take a picture? So I'm just supposed to believe you. You want proof. Anything else that we do, we want proof, we want facts. But when it comes to religion, we're willing to just accept it. Blind faith. It's crazy. So when you get into the debates or you're talking about that type of situation, don't let common sense go. And just tell people, okay, well, prove it. Okay, well, at the end of the day, all you have is your belief and faith. There's no reason to debate. That's all you have. You can't prove it. Nothing you're saying. Plain and simple. So, common sense trumps all to me. And it's some things that we can look at in this world that can be considered, weird, or something that you won't look at rationally. But for the most part, they all can be proven. A lot of weird stuff that happened, but you can show and prove how it could possibly happen. But with this biblical religion, we can't. We can't prove that Jesus existed and walked on water. That Moses, a 500-year-old man, spent 100 years building an ark and put a bunch of animals on it. And then, we go and see that, he couldn't have put all those animals on that ark. He couldn't have put them all on the ark. Plain and simple. Measurements don't add up. A man can't survive 3 days in a big fish. All that. Common sense has to stay in the conversation. And if people want to take you away from common sense, don't debate with them. They're crazy. It's crazy the mindset that people be in. A lot of people who choose to cut off, good friends and family members because of their religion. And that's crazy to separate from somebody who care about you because of a religion you don't even follow or really, really, truly believe in. And that's crazy. People do that and they get so emotional and hype about the religion that they just be like, you know what, I can't talk to you because you ain't Christian, when they ain't Christian either. And they're not doing anything that really follows the doctrine and truth. And when I get emails from people that tell me that, they lost friends and family members because of their new beliefs or because they became conscious, that's crazy. But again, people who claim that Christianity has really helped their life and they are successful because of it. If they're really successful and doing well, then I say, more power to you. That's what you're doing. But everybody's not going to have that, same results. It's just not realistic. And when you go and examine your life and the reason why you are successful, you'll see that it's because of you and not because of some God. Because it's people who did the same stuff, prayed and went to church and did everything right, who not where you are or where they should be. And again, God doesn't show favoritism, as it says in your book. And we can't just say that you was just that much better of a Christian that you got this. No, you did what you're supposed to do and it worked out just like it should for anybody who do what they're supposed to do. If you do what you're supposed to do, how can you fail? If you fail, it was something that was outside of your control. So you're not in the wrong. Plain and simple. And that's what scares people. The stuff that's outside of their control, they attribute that to Satan or God, and that by avoiding one and praising the other, they can avoid that kind of stuff and have some kind of success in life. But again, you still have people like myself and others who are very successful who don't believe, who don't follow the doctrine. So go figure. It can't be just because you say you follow the doctrine that you got stuff. You got good stuff. You got a job or you got a car, just because you say you follow the book or you are a Christian. So, that's just crazy. It's a lot of people walking around saying the same thing that's not getting the same benefits. So when you realize exactly what it is and that you put in the hard work and you did everything you were supposed to do to get that car, to get where you need to be, once you realize that, then you're going to understand that, it's bullshit, it's bogus to believe in such things and to hinder your life. The whole understanding that if you don't follow this God and what he wants you to do, that you're going to have a bad life. That's like somebody holding you hostage. Do what I say do, or you're going to die. You're going to get hit by a bus or a stray bullet, or you're going to lose your job and be homeless. Why would you want to serve something like that? It's crazy. So people really put themselves in the position of a servant, and that's how they want you to be, on your knees, saying that you serve and love like Jesus. So people at the end of the day, these boyfriends or girlfriends or moms, dads, family members that are Christians, I made videos like this before talking about this. You just got to let them be them. Let them do them. I know it hurts and you don't want to hear it and it mess with you. Just be able to say what you need to say when the time comes. And that's really what it's about. That's all you can do, is when that time comes and they getting all into their religious stuff, that you can just ignore it. And if they got something to say to you, you have something to say back that's going to, give them a reason to respect your decision. Plain and simple. And they have to anyway. But when you giving the correct answers and answering the questions to what these people have to say, because they say the same stuff, then that makes them look at everything differently. I had a lot of people, not want to be friends no more, or not want to even talk to me until, when I start putting out the videos, a lot of people start seeing them that I know and start following, and it was just blown away. And a lot of apologies. I talked about this before, but it'd be the same type of situation for you when you can answer these questions and when you can say exactly how you feel. When you can say exactly how you feel and get them to understand it. Having common sense answers, or real smart answers, and stuff that makes sense that they can understand and relate to. Because that's the thing, And then at the end of the day, it is what it is. It's frustrating, so I don't really get into it no more. I used to just be super debatable, and I had a lot of people contact me, YouTube and emails, wanting to debate, wanting to go on Google and back and forth, and Skype and all that back and forth. A couple times I did it because I could see the flaw in the hole and what the person was talking about, and not to just bust a bubble, but to just try to put them on the right track and say, well, I understand what you're talking about here and how you ended up with this conclusion, but this is what it really is, So it's again, it really comes down to knowledge and being able to answer the questions, and that's what's going to help. So that's basically it. So I want to thank you guys for taking the time to watch, and I'll see you guys next video.